Representing Brazil, Hugo Calderano.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Seamaster 2019
Representing
ITTF World
China,
Tour Platinum
Xu
Australian
Xin.
Open, coming to you live from Geelong, Australia. I'm your commentator, Adam Bavro, and this is the men's singles quarterfinals. It is the last of the quarterfinals for the men. Walking out onto court, or cloud walking out onto the court, it is the cloud walker, the showman, Superman, Xu Xin. He's world ranked #1, and he's playing against the thrill from Brazil, Hugo Calderano. Hugo has shattered all records for South Americans and Latin Americans at that. The pride of Latin America, Hugo Calderano, at 23 years old, just getting better and better. One of two players I've seen, and the most successful player, using a two-handed backhand. I think after pulling off this shot against Tomokazu Harimoto in front of everybody for a clear winner, he's continued practicing this two-handed backhand and even used it successfully against Marcos Freitas just recently. Hugo Calderano with coach Jean-René Mounier in the corner, who also works with his teammate at Oxenhausen, Simon Gauzy. One of the other players who pulls off the two-handed backhand quite a bit. Here's a look at the World Tour standings. Ma Long at the top of the list, Xu Xin not far behind if he's able to win this tournament. Well, take over that spot. Lin Gaoyuan in 3. Where's Hugo Calderano? Well, Matthias Falk on the list. #8 you saw in an absolutely heartbreaking match for him, but an incredible victory once again for Patrick Francisco. Hugo Calderano, #12 on the list, battling against #1. Oh, #2 is it? #2, Xu Xin on the World Tour standings. Ma Long out in front with a strong start to the year. So what is it about Hugo Calderano's game? He's strong from anywhere on the court. He's fast, very agile, and his backhand, just incredible power. His short game, his high toss service, make him quite difficult. He's really climbed in the world rankings as he learned to stay closer to the table, shorten his strokes a little bit, and has become more consistent with his backhand. Quarterfinalist in Japan, round of 16 in China, 32 in Qatar. 2019, well, it was 2018 Qatar, where Hugo Calderano shocked the world, made it all the way to the final, only losing to Fan Zhendong after beating Tomokazu Harimoto, Timo Boll, Lin Gaoyuan. And here's Xu Xin, 29-year-old, back in the world ranked #1 position. First time since maybe April 2015, right around there. From Korea, our umpire, Lee Jong-gum. Now, why do they call him the Cloud Walker? Let me introduce you to the assistant umpire, Avril Roberts from Australia. It's funny, you get to see him enough, don't even have to see the names sometimes. Xu Xin was called the Cloud Walker by Lu Goliang originally because it seemed like he was, well, just a bit too relaxed on the court. A little bit slower than others, they said, in terms of getting to the ball. He would always get to the ball late. It's one way to describe it. I guess I've taken the positive twist on that and said, well, he can reach anything. It seems like he's just so fast on his feet, even though his timing is later than others. He takes the ball from lower. His side spin has been trouble for foreigners around the world. For Hugo Calderano as well, they've played 3 times in the past, and Xu Xin has won all 3 of them. At most, he's dropped 1 game, 4-1, 4-0, and 4-1. Thrill from Brazil to start. Playing aggressively to the middle and then wide to the corners after he has Xu Xin behind the tables. Behind the table, just 1. Literally just 1 in the hall now. Service warning. Oh, interesting. It seemed like 2 different warnings. One was ball falling behind your head. The other is please remove the free arm. For Hugo Calderano, I have seen that call quite a lot, behind the head. Perfect adjustment and a perfect backhand to follow. Wow. A lot of people hear a warning and try to give the impression that they're changing without changing their serve much so that they can keep their rhythm. But Hugo Calderano did everything right there. receive game is going to be crucial against Xu Xin. His serve is very tough to receive. His third ball attack even tougher, especially if you haven't set yourself up well.
1-3.
I think we're going to see a lot of this from the start of the match. Hugo Calderano looking to get as aggressive as possible, as early as possible in the rally. Xu Xin with the quick counter, but it comes back one more time with the fast counter attack from Hugo Calderano. Had a chance to see Hugo Calderano warming up, practicing with Dmitry Ovtcharov the other day, looking very impressive. Consistently strong on both sides near the table. Just catching the edge here, Calderano trying to take the ball on the rise. The trend that has been set by many younger players, catching the ball earlier and earlier. Something Xu Xin's been working on recently, in addition to improving his backhand. And generally, he's done both quite well, which is why he's world number 1.
5-2.
Beautiful long push and a break off the edge for Xu Xin. Xu Xin keeping it so uncomfortable deep to that backhand side. He knows Calderano wants to step around, and as strong as that backhand is, still the forehand a bit stronger when he has the time. Hugo. Again, we've seen bigger comebacks. Not against the Chinese players, not that I've seen yet. As the Chinese flags in the crowd have been distributed to the fans. Again, strong support around the world for the Chinese players.
7-3.
So difficult to make this shot on the move. Just to keep the ball on the table, let alone cause any threat to Xu Xin from that position. Very solid forehand flick. Little rotation on it. Follows the ball all the way to the corner. Realized he had to go for it, saw the opening, thought, yeah, I can fit through that space. From the other camera angle, it was actually clear. You could see it almost as if you were Hugo Calderano. All chips in. 3 points down now. Well, a serve that kicked so much. Xu Xin had started set up on the backhand. By the second bounce, was changing his mind. Again, the table, good traction on the top. The ball's gonna kick. Chun Chi in the corner for Xu Xin. Again, since early November, has been working with Xu Xin on the timing, on the faster game. Perfect setup, jamming him. Now that backhand that everyone's been talking about, Xu Xin's backhand that has really improved recently. It's helped him to beat Lin Weiru twice recently. And Xu Xin's gonna have to depend on that a bit more. So far, hasn't felt comfortable going backhand to backhand or backhand to forehand with Hugo Calderano. Good long push here to secure a 2-point lead once again. Xu Xin deep into the backhand side. Calderano looking to make the best of both of his serves here. Bending ball out to the forehand of Calderano. Xu Xin with 3 game points. Chop block so difficult to deal with. Xu Xin, after hesitating on the service receive, still found a way to save the point. 11-7, he takes game number 1. Thrill from Brazil down, Cloud Walker up. We'll be back for game number 2 right after this.
Second game, Xu Xin to serve. Love all.
Players back for game 2. Xu Xin with the serve here. Empty
love.
serve and turning the corner quickly. Xu Xin on the step around forehand. Still hasn't pulled out the backhand. Not too much here. A little bit off the net. You could see the net shake on that one and stay out in front. Ball stays out in front of Calderano. Well, this is the type of timing that Calderano needs. Forces a more passive backhand out of Xu Xin. Xu Xin so far hasn't felt the need to use his backhand. He's been successful in the service game and the step around, chasing a little bit if he needs. Beautiful counter. I thought the serve drifted too long and Calderano was in trouble, but he was right in position to counter. Xu Xin constantly keeping Hugo Calderano guessing. Where's the next ball going to be? In terms of rhythm, Calderano was looking early on to finish the point as quickly as possible. Still trying, but 2 shots in, Xu Xin is already waiting with that forehand, surprising Calderano. Deep on the table, the spin shot from Calderano. It's funny, I'm sure Hugo Calderano's family and fans would like to know this. There's I think a World Championships for Rubik's Cube in Melbourne right now, not too far away. I think we'd all love to see, prefer to see Hugo Calderano play in the final here. But hypothetically, if he could go compete there as well, he might do okay. After all, quite impressive with the Rubik's Cube. Table tennis, maybe even more so. I don't know much about the competitive scene in Rubik's or cubes. 4 points apiece. Xu Xin tied up with the serve on his side. Interesting. I have to wonder if for a moment Hugo Calderano thought about using a second hand there. Sometimes that two-handed backhand comes out. Good save with that one. Just missed the contact there. Normally he can curve that ball back onto the table.
5, all.
Spinning one deep to the backhand. Xu Xin not happy about his decision. A little bit passive. He's tapping his head before and still can read it. It's all over his face. Xu Xin clever, trying to sneak it past with some topspin to the wide forehand as Calderano was hanging out on the backhand side. Calderano makes his quick move, still keeping Xu Xin behind the table. He'll take it all day long, 6-5. Good placement on the push from Calderano. Xu Xin I've described as the coolest guy in the room. It's a pretty cool room, temperature-wise and by every other standard, but still, Xu Xin holds that title. Just always seems to have an answer, no problem. Really seems like a problem that he can't fix.
6-all.
If he can't fix it, he'll deal with it. Take responsibility. 6 points apiece. Beautiful receive again, sneaking in over the table, beating Xu Xin to the wide forehand corner. When Koki Niwa beat Xu Xin, maybe 2 years ago now, the wide forehand, playing early in the point to the wide forehand. It's one of the reasons Xu Xin has been forced to develop his backhand, so that he can stay in position early in the point, cover the wide forehand corner. And look what it earns him. Spinny backhand, tough to counter, tough to predict where it's going to go. Forces Hugo Calderano behind the table, then the inside-out forehand out of reach. Top of the bounce, Calderano pounds down through the ball, keeps the top spin on. 1 point at a time, but end game, as we've seen from the top Chinese players, it's where they really excel. This is a tough one to get away from. Calderano keeps his cool. Doesn't show too much emotion after missing the shot, too much frustration. I love the support from Dr. Meng in the background. Again, strong team spirit for the Chinese national team. Right into the body.
9.
No backhand there. Not to say that he's not capable of it, but he's not trusting it yet. Tried to get the forehand in, just like that fan in the crowd with the peace sign. Tried to sneak it, but Calderano too fast. Inside out from Calderano, that bit of side spin on it. What a save to come back and cover the backhand corner. He knows it's tough. He's played the best in the world, Hugo Calderano. When he beat Fan Zhendong, he was #1 in the world at the time. Knows to get back and ready for another shot. Now, it's not just Jean-René Mounier. He's got a whole team working with him, Hugo Calderano, so that he's mentally prepared, physically prepared, constantly coming in with belief in a game plan. 2 game points for the thrill from Brazil. Beautiful counter. Xu Xin's backhand. Sorry, I had the wrong address. I got the invitation. Is this the table tennis party? Hi, I'm backhand. And a timeout on Hugo Calderano's side. We will see if the backhand stays to party a bit longer.
Timeout.
Calderano can stop the rock. So 45 seconds left of conversation time for Calderano. The backhand, a lot of ways to use it over the table. Out to the wide forehand, deep into the body. Xu Xin's been dangerous on the quick counters, though. Well, on this timeout, you can imagine what the conversation might be. Again, it's the over-the-table game. The quality of the opening ball seems to be most crucial, and as Hugo Calderano comes back to the table, that means it's time for Xu Xin as well. In case you were curious, Hugo Calderano beat Cho Sung-min of Korea, the up-and-coming player who's been very strong recently, 4-1. After that, Marcos Freitas, 4-2. Just yesterday, Xu Xin getting through Darko Jorgic, 4-1. And Lin Wingru from the Chinese Taipei team, 4-0. And now it's Hugo Calderano. Second game point here. Serve with Hugo. Oh, stays on Hugo's side, comes over after. Xu Xin surviving, ties it up 10 points apiece. I'm watching to see how patient Xu Xin is. A lot of people who are newer to table tennis don't understand the physical demands. Well, when you're as fast as Xu Xin is, you can wait till the very last moment, till the point of contact, before seeing where you move. That's the idea. Then you never take a step in the wrong direction. Xu Xin on the counter with the backhand side. Love to see that again, my goodness. Thank you very much. Shovel serve, and it's the backhand, the spin shot into the body. Xu Xin's backhand, while it can be overpowering, doesn't have to be. Simply constantly changing, it usually is. Game point to the Cloudwalker. And the long push right at the baseline. 2 game points saved. And the next 2 points go to Xu Xin as well. 4 in a row from down 8-10. He takes game number 2. He's up 2-0 and will be back for game number 3. The thrill from Brazil versus the Cloudwalker right after this.
Third game, Calderano to serve, love all.
Back for game number 3, Hugo Calderano dangerously close to taking his first game.
Love
But Xu Xin crept in, holds down his perfect record so far, 2-0.
love.
It's funny, I've seen Simon Gauzy do some of Hugo Calderano's shots, but this reminded me of the Simon Gauzy shot where he scoops the ball from under the table, putting heavy under and side spin, and a lot of players don't read it. Beautiful backhand, not a chance to be touched here. Cloudwalker not even moving. Stuck in some rain clouds on that one. It's often spectacular to see Hugo Calderano behind the table, like many, and especially against Xu Xin. It's going to be very tough to win a point that way.
5-1.
Again, I talked about how it's never just China versus China when it is two Chinese players playing each other, but still an audition for Tokyo 2020 for a chance to play the Olympic Games.
Let 5-1.
Hugo Calderano at the last Olympic Games had a very close match against the eventual bronze medalist, Jun Mizutani. What a backhand here from behind the table, just one shot and it's gone. Well played.
3-5.
When Hugo Calderano went up on 1 foot, it looked like he was going to flick it wide to the forehand, but thought it was too obvious. Decided to go back to the backhand, froze up Xu Xin, took away the powerful opening shot. Two with similar placement and tactics to win the point. The bend on that forehand.
5.
It's very fast, very spinny, and not just straight topspin. In at the body of Xu Xin and hooking to the forehand side. So 4 in a row for Calderano. With the towel break, he was down 1-5. I was thinking back, I know I'm one of many, many thousands that follow him on Instagram. Just so interesting to watch some of the creative stuff he does. And it's good? No? Did it catch the clamp? I guess it didn't hit the opponent's side of the table. Which is probably why the ball came straight up as opposed to had it hit the edge. A better look at this here. Yeah, net clamp, just the outside of the net clamp, as opposed to the edge of the opponent's side of the table. Second towel break. The reason I brought up Hugo Calderano's Instagram, I was thinking about probably the best through the leg shot I've ever seen. It's from Hugo Calderano. From two-hand backhand training to playing basketball against locals in China. I mean, he's an all-around athlete, but he's very creative in table tennis, and I think that creativity pays off. After all, he's playing against the most creative player in the game.
5-8.
But for Xu Xin, keeping it steady in terms of playing the percentages here, staying aggressive, staying near the table, focusing on the over-the-table short game and the quick counters. He'll be strong.
9-5.
For example, quick rallies with Xu Xin, it feels like he's getting faster and faster. Could see him stop up for a moment just in case the ball came down on his side of the table. Good side spin coming in. Hugo Calderano not able to put it back on the table. 11-5, Xu Xin, as it started to get close, pulled ahead, ran away with the scoreboard, and has a 3-0 lead. We'll be back for game number 4. Hugo Calderano, the thrill from Brazil, and Superman, Xu Xin, right after this.
Fourth game, Xu Xin to serve. Love all.
Back for game number 4, Xu Xin with the serve leading 3-0. Chooses to go out to the forehand. He wants to hit something that can't be reached. He does exactly that. Xu Xin fishing from behind the table. Off screen for half of that point. I would have loved to have seen him do a two-handed backhand in there. Again, that parallel forehand as Xu Xin turns the corner. Shots like this are going to give him something to consider before he makes that move around the backhand corner. Almost 3 in a row. Blocked by the net until Xu Xin starts showing him that he can handle that wide forehand corner. Calderano is going to be looking for the opportunity. Cross court here, deep into the backhand. The length of the table for the forehand flip kill.
Let 1-3.
Puts everything into that one shot, has a lot to recover from when Xu Xin brings it back, as he often does. This will be a cool angle to see it from. Almost falls down, tries a tomahawk chop. Put it back onto the table, lob it right at the baseline, just missing the contact. Calderano still up by 1.
3-all.
Beautiful ball bending away. Xu Xin from the middle of the table, picking his spot, and with that flexible grip, the penhold grip, his wrist is the last thing to come through the ball. Just on the inside of it, bending it outwards.
Let 3-4. All. Let 4-all.
Good positioning here. Calderano gets Xu Xin behind the table again, firm over the table, looking for the opportunities to drive Xu Xin back, surprise him with the receive. On the scooping shot, Xu Xin, is that an around the net ball that leaves Hugo Calderano in the far backhand corner? You want to see it come down. A little bit of sweat on the racket. Hugo Calderano telling Xu Xin after that spectacular point. Maybe at the towel break we'll be able to get a replay of that point, because that was really something to see again from a different angle. Again, the parallel forehand. Xu Xin. Hands in the air. if I had to read the body language, be like, what happened with the quality of that shot there coming in? Why wasn't that tougher for Calderano to deal with? Thought I did everything right. Again, Xu Xin very tough to lob to. Let's see if we get that around the net forehand shot from Xu Xin. Second towel break here, tied up at 6 points apiece. Well, if not, it's okay. Just a good look at the two players here. All right. Is this the one? Let's see. Look, that's the last point.
Let 6-all.
Calderano back in front by one here on the receive. Again, we've seen some crazy comebacks here, including Patrick Franziska, down 1-3, 6-10. Xu Xin back up against the barriers. Ball check. Not the right one. Not to the ball kid, I like it. To the coach, says, nah, don't let this one come back in circulation. Thank you for your time. Your work is done here. No need to come back. Point between them again. Important crunch time here for Calderano. And the serve sneaks past Xu Xin. Love to see this again. Not too often that Xu Xin is fooled on the receive. Perfect. We'll get a good angle at this. Look inside. Light backspin there to keep it right near the back edge of the table. Relatively empty though. 3 game points for Hugo Calderano. Xu Xin right down the middle of the table there. Third towel break for these two players. That point with the around the net shot. Get another look at it here. How wide Xu Xin can take the players. Didn't go around the net post, but heavy angle, leaving Calderano in a very uncomfortable position. Again, Xu Xin with more side spin than almost any man in the game. Mima Ito on the women's side. I'd be curious to see who has more, Xu Xin or Mima Ito. Still 2 game points left for Calderano. Oh, perfectly played from Calderano. Says, no, I'm not taking your bait yet. No, not yet. I attack when I want to attack. You come in and deal with these soft shots first, and right down the line, Calderano finishes. He's got his first game on the scoreboard, 11-8. We'll be back for game number 5, Thrill from Brazil versus the Cloudwalker, right after this.
game. Calderano to serve. Love all.
Players back for game number 5. Hugo Calderano hanging on by a thread here, pulls himself back, winning 11-8. Playing as well as he is, that's how tough it is against Xu Xin. That's what it takes. A break off the top of the net, a bit of fortune for Calderano. Matthias Falk and Patrick Franziska with a lot of luck back and forth. The crowd will be excited to see the match continue. Luck again. Top of the net, low to the net for Hugo Calderano. I imagine he apologized early on before the camera came back. But again, part of the game, it happens. Both players can accept that. Xu Xin's chop block handled responsibly. Still not a winner from Calderano. Just playing it safely, spinning it back, working with the spin. Fortunately for Hugo, Xu Xin's forehand waiting, didn't come down. Two-handed backhand goes long. If he plays that a little bit wider out to the forehand, he's got more length on the table. That comes down. Wouldn't be the first time we've seen Calderano hit it to an open table hard with two hands. One of the reasons you rarely do see a two-handed backhand in table tennis. It's a little bit stiffer. The racket isn't so heavy. It's more a question of whip, freedom. The racket speed can be a lot faster with that whipping one-handed backhand that's traditional in table tennis. So Calderano up 4 points to 2 right now. Now, at the start of the game, someone wrote me on Instagram and said, why do they say love all? Now, what I was curious about the same. I read online, racket sports, I think the 14th century in France, that predated tennis, they would say le oeuf. My French is terrible, but that's essentially meaning egg to represent the shape of the zero. So it's le oeuf, le oeuf, le oeuf, which became le oeuf all, which sounds like love all. So now we say love all. And also, it's a good positive message to put out into the world at the start of every sporting event. Love all. Peace to the world. Unity through sport. Calderano up 5-2. Clever idea, but table not quite wide enough for that backhand. Right down the middle of the table, still has to worry about it coming back at the baseline. The shortest shot on the table from the middle. Hugo Calderano playing it confidently, right into the elbow of Xu Xin. Could see him have to twist and turn to try to find placement for the racket. That's what the middle's all about, forcing hesitation out of the opponent. Xu Xin back within 2. Again, there have been a lot of massive comebacks in this tournament. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but this is a little bit of reenactment, a test of pressure right now for Xu Xin, or a test of Xu Xin under pressure. On his half of the draw, he's the only Chinese player left. There were 4. There will be 2. People, that is. Franziska, Falk, Calderano, and Xu Xin. The World Championships, he was carrying a lot of weight, and Simon Gauzy got the best of Xu Xin. There's the backhand, the power. When Calderano goes for it and he makes that shot, it's one of the fastest backhands in the world. Just incredible power here. Fishing, keeping it in play, looking for the opportunity, tucks just a little bit and it's enough. That little bit of backswing, enough charge to power the ball through the cloud walker. Big game here to send it to game 6, up 8-4. Top edge of the racket. Good rotation coming in from Xu Xin. Again, spin variation of Xu Xin. That creative factor makes him very tough to play. Oh, that's a tough one. Calderano played it so well with the clever touch shot inside the table. Got Xu Xin to pop it up. He's not fretting, not worrying about it, not dwelling on the past. That's professional. Tough to do. We see it with a lot of players. From that position, you can imagine he felt he had earned the point. And now he has. It's the best answer. If you can't change the past, well, make the future yours, right? Act in the now. Man, is that a cool way to respond. Wouldn't that be great if we could handle all our problems that way? Didn't work out last time and then nail it the next time. 2 in a row. Edge of the racket off of Xu Xin's side. Calderano apologizing for the ball hitting Xu Xin in what appeared to be the neck. 4 game points for Calderano. A very familiar score. Matthias Falk 3-1. 10-6, except it's the opposite here. No match points for Calderano, just 4 game points.
10-7.
So maybe not quite the opposite, simply a little bit different. 1 game point saved. Xu Xin down by 3 still. And the soft spinny one does it. Hugo Calderano leaving it in front of Xu Xin with a lot of rotation. 11-7. The thrill from Brazil with his 2nd game in a row will be back for game number 6 of the last men's singles quarterfinal match right after this. Back for game number 6. Xu Xin with the serve, still up 3-2. Oh, leaves Calderano with the skid mark on the floor. Good smile on the face, though, for a guy who slipped up in the backhand court. Just in case the charm factor wasn't high, fans around the world weren't already crushing on Hugo Calderano. Smart placement right back to that backhand corner. Clever idea, but tough to keep it short enough against Xu Xin. Hugo Calderano at the start of last game had 2 balls off the top of the net. A little bit different of a situation. It's more in the push game as opposed to the touch shot after the soft flick. Calderano very focused and fired up. It's interesting how players have their different vocalizations, different tones here. But that's intense. Great to watch, though. Forced into a shot from the middle. Calderano goes for that two-handed backhand once again to cover the middle of the body. Oh, surprise, surprise, one more to the backhand. Calderano goes low to the ground. Almost anybody who's watched table tennis at all in the past year to 5 years of your life, you see someone move like Calderano does on this next ball. Not this one, this one. The ball's going the other way. It's going inside out to the forehand. Xu Xin's anticipation to be outdone in that moment with the experience that the 29-year-old world #1 has. Clever, clever play from a very clever guy, Hugo Calderano. Right into the body once again. This is a ratio that Calderano can work with. He'll beat Xu Xin to 11 points if he keeps this up. Even from a step and a half behind the table, he's more confident in the backhand. Calderano. Serve looked fairly empty. Maybe Xu Xin trying to keep it low to the net. But again, from that distance, tough to read the spin. Oh, service error under pressure. Well, I saw the post as Dima Ovtcharov gave away 2 serves at game point the other day. Xu Xin I've seen give away 6 serves, 6 service errors in a single match. And he's world #1. So it happens to the best of them. Short side of the table, a little too short for that ball. Back within 2, Xu Xin. Calderano still living by the sword, dying by the sword, taking the shots. Staying on top of the bounce, as long as he doesn't start getting discouraged and backing off.
Let 6-4.
Service faults happen to everybody. Waldner against Ma Lin was up 10-5. If I remember correctly, lost 5 points in a row. Having 2 service errors at near the end of that game.
7-4.
Xu Xin trying to get himself to move forward, come over through the ball, drive, rather than spin it up the way he did. 3 points in the lead, 4 points away from game #7, the decider. Calderano caught an indecision for a moment as the ball blasted out to the wide forehand. Could have been returned a number of ways. Wouldn't have been easy for any of them. Counterattack with the forehand, a lob once more. But again, that penhold grip, Xu Xin, so unpredictable. Can play the ball inside out or hooking back to the deep backhand court. It's part of the reason we don't see Calderano lobbing much. One of many reasons, neither player at this point. Just not too advantageous to play that shot. Last resort. Cracking backhand off the net and out. One-point game now. No matter who wins this match, I think we'd all love to see a game 7. Maybe those related to Xu Xin. At this point, not so thrilled about that idea. There it is, catches it early, gets Xu Xin to play it a little bit inside the table. A little shallow, Calderano moves right back in to take it early. Coach Jean-René Mounier, it's interesting. Some people are top-level players like Ma Lin, Lu Goliang, Wang Hao, then become coaches. Others learn early that they want to coach, and that's where they're better. Jean-René Mounier producing some of the best in the world. Clever idea, but Xu Xin right back on the tail. 1 point behind. This is a man who caused nightmares, sleepless nights for Junmi Zutani in Kuwait in 2016. Dusseldorf 2017 for Eric, as he's known on Instagram, or Lin Gaoyuan as he's known to everybody in the world. And the backhand shows up once again. Xu Xin with a spinny shot early in the rally to keep the pressure on Calderano. Trying to stay cool at the moment. Oh, now the Xu Xin fan club shows up? Come on. That's not the Xu Xin fan club. I know the Xu Xin fan club. Xu Xin fan club is there the whole time, not just when he comes back to tie it up and is winning, jumping on the winning bandwagon. Seriously? You show your support when you're needed, not when it makes you look good to be a fan. Good times, good times. The true Xu Xin fan club I'm in touch with. Good people. Calderano up by 1. Where's the Calderano fan club at? I'll bet there's some in China. Perfect placement on the flip, right into the middle. Xu Xin taking a risk here. That chule was a little self-rewarding chule there. Very difficult ball. Even in doubles, you don't see Xu Xin take that shot much. When it's to the backhand side of the table, he can step around the table and he's deadly. He's dangerous with that forehand flip. But inside the table from the middle, the forehand side, the table's there as an obstacle. It's not as comfortable for him, yet still he forced himself to do it, and it tied up the game. Oh, what a counter! Xu Xin under pressure with the fast backhand, blasts it back. A ball that hard coming in, it's tough not to feel like Calderano had won the point. Against most players in the world, he had. The quality of that ball, try finding it in the replay. Which side is it on? Good luck. Oh, Xu Xin already sent it back to the other barriers. Game and match point for the Cloudwalker. Oh, and Xu Xin takes it. Steals it, an unbelievable performance here, trailing throughout this game. Nerves of steel, Superman once again outperforming his opponent. A spectacular match from Hugo Calderano, nearly sending this to the decider from down 0-3. Simply spectacular, but world #1, living up to the ranking, and he takes the match very focused. Still the coolest man in the room, 4-2. The Cloudwalker walks on and the dream continues. Outstanding show from the showman. Stick around to hear what Superman has to say in his post-match interview with Alois Rosario.